Talk to me.
Talk to me.
Talk to me.
Lovers
all
do.
the things we're gonna talk about.
We are singing two very different songs.
Yeah, but
I was going with
they
the
were really-
Eurythmics. What were you singing?
I was just making it up.
Oh. You know what? Save that. Because she wrote it. We're going to use
You're
it.
gonna use it, and my publishing company is gonna be super excited.
Hey, man, whatever. I think they're doing just fine
They're doing
considering
fine.
all the songs, King of Everything and Brave and all these other songs that I know we've been playing the hell out of at MYfm.
Awesome.
Thank you for those songs.
Thank you. Thank you for those.
You're like,
songs.
thank you for the house and the cars. So you were just talking about, you live in New York, though, but you're
Yeah.
local.
I grew up in California.
Right.
And then I came to LA to go to UCLA.
Right.
So I lived here for 15 years, and then I moved about 6 years ago.
But I love the city that you're, because you're from Eureka.
Eureka.
And see, I lived in Oregon, and when I first
you
moved here, I made that drive. And Eureka is that little weird area where they've got this other city that comes first called, I think it's Yreka. And then when people see the sign, they're like, oh, it's probably pronounced Eureka. And then we see the sign for Eureka. It's a very confusing little.
Oh, it's interesting.
10
I don't
mile-
think because Yreka's pretty far away from Eureka,
But the
but it
exit's
must
on the
be.
freeway?
It might be
Yeah.
something like that. Because it's inland. Yreka's inland quite a bit.
but all the
we're right on the
exits-
coast with all the redwood trees
Is there like
and
a,
the pot. Really.
Yeah,
to be
that's what
honest.
I was trying not to bring, because there's a lot going on
You
in
try
Eureka.
not to bring it up. It's our number one industry.
There's some stuff going on there.
Yeah, yeah. There's some stuff.
I'd like to think that.
I just learned that they call it Murder Mountain.
Yeah, that's-
There's a documentary. I haven't seen it yet, but.
Yeah. These are all the things I was going to not bring up, by the way. You just
why?
totally do it.
It's like all the good juicy stuff.
It's an interesting place.
Yeah.
It's just over the border, just across from Oregon.
From Oregon, yeah.
You ever
It's
go back?
actually a really beautiful little city. We don't call it Murder Mountain. My parents live there. I'm like, there's not that many murders that I know of.
Right.
So.
Right.
Anyway.
But it is nice. It's got
I
a
was
big-
hired by the tourism board to
It's got
get people to go.
A big bay. Yeah, really. I mean, you're trying to paint a picture, but
Yeah.
it's. Do you ever go back?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since both my folks still live there, they're both remarried, so I've got 2 households to go home to, and like lots of family up there. Yeah.
Cool. Good
Yeah,
for you.
I
Good
love
for you.
it.
All right, so let's get straight to it. You're on tour. I know you're stopping off here to talk to us today, which we appreciate, and then you're doing shows next week. Troubadour, which is tell us about this venue. Have you done that place before?
Yes,
it's such
many
an incredible.
times. It's one of my favorite places to play in Los Angeles, and we wanted to do really teeny tiny shows
Yeah.
on this part of the tour because we're going to do a big tour in the fall. But if I'm going to choose something that's really intimate, it's going to be the Troubadour. I mean, the history, it's the iconic nature of that stage, what's happened on there, and then the staff is always amazing. It's just a great vibe.
It is cool, and that's what's cool about LA. They have a lot of these little places like the Troubadour that even though they might have updated certain parts, they've left parts of the stage. It's like the original wood, or up
Yeah.
in the balcony that's a little sketchy up
Yeah.
there. Right? Yeah, it's a
whole
little.
thing.
You're like balcony.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of that original stuff, and there's like people who've signed it over the
Carved
years.
there, yes, totally.
It's such a trip, but you can fit your set on that stage as well because it's no bigger than this.
I don't actually know.
Yeah?
I mean, to be honest, it'll be really tight quarters. But that's kind of what I love about. I mean, I got my start in Molly Malone's, Genghis Khan,
Sure.
Hotel Cafe, like Temple Bar, which doesn't exist anymore. Like all these LA haunts that they're little club. I mean, club shows are where I got, where all my beginnings began. So all my beginnings began. Write that down.
Right.
That's really
Beginnings.
high
Next single.
wisdom. That's big wisdom right there. But so I love a small stage, and I love the proximity of the audience, and that it feels like you're all just like in this room together.
It's very. You become very human to
Yeah.
artists as well, but do you become? I always wanted that too, because the stage really is like this.
Yeah.
Someone is right here, like this,
I'm like,
watching you.
Totally, I'm like playing the piano, and
Is that weird?
I sort of love the intimacy of that.
Yeah.
It can be a little awkward, kind of depending on who got in the front row, but
Or if you have to sneeze, or if you got a
Yeah.
little like wedgie going on, you're like, I
totally.
can't pull it out.
But I sort of love the humanity of that. It's just, it's less presentational. It's not like taking the stage and going like, hello out there. It's like, hi.
You can
it's
see
more
the
intimate.
shirts and the signs and
Yeah.
stuff that they. Cool.
Yeah.
Good for you. On this tour, do you tour bus or are you in a car? Or
No,
what?
we're just doing fly dates because there's only 4 shows on this little tour. And then, so we're going to fly up to San Francisco. That's where we start. We come back here. we do our Troubadour show, then we go to Chicago and then New York.
Okay, so there's not a lot of tour travel. I'm imagining like a tour bus when you're sitting on this.
No, that'll be in the fall. Yeah,
Okay.
that'll be like tour bus.
And on that, what do you do? What are you doing to kill time during this? Are you playing games on your phone? Are you Netflixing?
I
or?
try not to. I try to limit screen time for Sarah. She doesn't like it that much. Yeah. I try to just, hang with people. I love taking long walks, finding a good coffee spot, close spot,
Right.
kind of being in the city. It's such a great way to see the country. If
Sure.
you end up at a venue somewhere and then you get to wander for the afternoon and then go play a show.
And
It's a
actually
great
know
day.
where you are,
Right.
as opposed to hotel stage.
Right, exactly.
Hotel stage.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the new album,
Okay.
Amidst the Chaos.
Yeah.
Now, is this kind of like Amidst the Chaos, or is this Amidst the Chaos?
It's a little of both.
A little bit of both?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking about it. It's a little bit of like the macro and the micro. I was really personally and artistically inspired to turn to music basically after the last election. And
Sure.
the Women's March was honestly a real pivotal point for me, and realizing that I had a lot that I wanted to say
Yeah.
with music about what it feels like to be alive right now, and to be a woman right now, and to be an American right now. And so there's a lot to say about that. And then also just personally in my life has changed so much in the last 5 years. I've been working on a Broadway show that has reoriented just about absolutely
done okay.
everything.
It's
It's
done
doing
all right.
amazing. We're
Some people
so
like it.
proud.
Good
We're
for
so
you.
proud. It's so hard to make a musical.
I'm
I
sure.
learned.
Isn't it cool to see like the people who? It seems like people younger and younger are getting into musicals. I think
I'm
historically
so
musicals
stoked.
were like for older people, but
It's-
now it's like it's such a cult even from young all.
Totally. And it's been amazing to see, because I was one of those kids. I was like
Yeah.
a theater nerd as a kid. I listened to all the cast album recordings, and I loved all the musical movies. And
Maybe that's the term, theater nerd, because in
Yeah.
that way, that's the way it used to be. Like
Yeah.
if you were into it, it's like.
I
but
think
now
it's still that way, but
Is it?
that's the thing that I love
know.
about the theater community is that they wave the flag loud and proud. It's just
Yeah.
like we are. They're proud to be sort of like misfits in the world. It's a really cool. It's the most accepting, sort of liberated, expanded community I've ever been a part of, and I'm forever changed by this show.
That's exciting. It's so like part of life now. Even is Joey McIntyre doing something?
He's on stage. Well, not maybe right this minute, but
Right.
yes, he's in our show as we speak.
See, that's showing how it's crossing over. I mean,
Yeah.
into just all kind of artists and.
Totally, and
But he's perfect for it, isn't he?
He's wonderful. He's the
Yeah.
nicest guy. I mean, and I had posters of New Kids on my.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I had to like play it cool meeting Joey McIntyre.
Right.
But it's amazing because you'll find out that like that's really what he's super passionate about is acting and doing stage work and like. I feel like one of the things that's been helpful is Hamilton, which like sort of made theater cool again.
Right.
And it's all these people kind of coming out of the closet going like, yeah, I love it too. Like,
I love it, and I better buy tickets quick because
Yeah.
it'll sell out.
Yeah,
Like, Hamilton
yeah.
made everybody mad.
Yeah,
And
totally.
selling out. That's Joey is great. He's so animated. Was he your favorite New Kid, by the way, or were you more of a Jordan?
I kind of went back and forth. It
Yeah?
was one of those things like it would just I would have my seasons with each one of them. I just as I was evolving as a young woman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The new single, it's so interesting because it's such a different take on such a common relatable issue, which is of course like breakups, and that's
Yeah.
what I'm taking from it at least,
Yeah.
and the whole getting over you process. And it is kind of like, wow, wait, you're right, because you don't really ever get over it. Is it kind of learning how to deal with it or cope with it or somewhere to park it? Is that what this song is kind of about?
to me, this song is really just about that, taking the wisdom perspective of like, just seeing something for for the potential it had, and realizing that there may or may not have been limitations for that sometimes we get into things, we get into relationships, and we're wanting someone to change or become the thing that we like think we're looking for.
Sure.
Instead of actually just seeing like who is someone able to be for you. And in this particular scenario with this song, it was about someone who was never going to turn into the thing that I felt like I was looking for. And so it's looking back and going like, oh right, yeah, I see that now.
Right.
But in the moment you're swept up in all of the emotion of it all.
And even the things you're looking for as you grow up as well change
Completely.
So there's, even if they do become that person you're looking for, they may have, you just want something different.
Yeah, yeah.
We're getting very deep.
We are. This is
But the song is a trip too, because it kind of plays a mind game with you melodically, because it's very, like the chords and everything. It's very positive, and even the last note of the song, in that kind of a song, you would think it would be kind of a depressing chord, but it's not. You've got more of an industrial beat. You kind of like to do that. I noticed more of industrial, slowed down, thicker beats. But why the positive chord on a song that should be. Maybe not should be, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's kind of a sad
Yeah.
topic.
Well, I think it's sort of. I always like to play with darkness and light. You know, the verses are in a minor key. The melody is really low in my register. You know, there's lots of things that get communicated with, you know, how and where you place the notes of a song. But I also felt like, you know, for me, I really like to make music that's about from and for an empowered space inside yourself. So I wasn't depressed about knowing this. It's like if there's a moment of clarity and, again, like that wisdom perspective of going, oh, right, I know this now, and I can move forward from a stronger place because I'm not, you know, stuck in the spider's web of like, why aren't you who I wanted you to be? Like,
Right.
Who cares?
Which
Move on.
should be the negative
Yeah.
sad chord. But
Sure.
so the chords in that way are more of, hey, I've realized this, and now we've moved
Appreciate
on
your
from it.
attention to detail.
It's such a cool little trick though, and there's songs that are like that you're dancing to it and you're like, hang on, this message is
Yeah.
not good. What
Yeah.
am I doing?
No, I think that feels more, it's the nuance of life where just things are not usually that simple.
Yeah.
You know, everything is complicated and has like a lot of layers to it. So I feel like why not tell stories musically that way?
Sure. Do the people around you ever listen to your song and go, hang on, should I be paying attention to what you're saying? Is this
Only
about
if
us?
only if it's positive. What
Yeah?
I find is that nobody ever thinks a negative song is about them. They're like, wow, you must have really met some assholes. You're like, yeah, I really did. Along the way.
It was you. You inspired this. And
Yeah.
you will see the royalty check when it comes in from BMI for being inspired.
Thanks
Come by
for
more
the
often.
song.
Come by more often. More than
Thanks.
once every few
I
years.
know. I'll have
Thank you
to
so
make
much.
another record for
Yeah,
it.
do that.
Yeah, thanks.
Cool.